guitar lesson is going to be all about classic country. I'll start out showing y'all a few strumming patterns that work really well for classic country, and then we'll practice these strumming patterns over a couple of chord progressions that we'll borrow from the old classic song Your Cheatin' Heart by Hank Williams. And then after we work through the strumming patterns and the chord progressions, we'll kind of shift gears, and I'll teach y'all a really simple country guitar solo that you can play along with Your Cheatin' Heart. So overall, it's going to be a really great lesson for classic country rhythm guitar and lead guitar. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. We'll give you a close-up of my guitar, and I'm going to start out taking a look at these strumming patterns first. So here's the main strumming pattern that we'll be working with today. Pick, down, pick, up, down, up. Let's try it over the C major chord. Pick, down, pick, up, down, up. And just repeat it over and over. Pick, down, pick, up, down, up. 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 So that's over the C major chord, and you can probably see there that we're using an alternating bass line, where we alternate the bass line picks between two strings, just go back and forth. So over the C major, my first bass note pick, my favorite way to do it is just pick on the 5th string to start in the strum, and then the next bass note pick is on the 6th string. 5th string, 6th string. But one thing to note is when you pick that 6th string bass note, the note that you actually got to play is the 3rd fret, 6th string. So when you're playing a regular C major chord, you got an open 6th string. So what you got to do is either shift your left ring finger like this, and then keep shifting the left ring finger back and forth. Or my favorite thing to do actually is play a C/G chord. And all that is, just form a regular C major, leave everything with your left hand where it is, except lift up your left ring finger and move it to the 6th string, and then put your pinky down where your ring finger was on the 5th string root note. So that's the C/G, and this way you can do that alternating bass line without moving your left hand at all. So real useful chord for classic country. So here's one more strumming pattern that is really useful for classic country. Very similar to the one we just did, but a little simpler. Pick, down, up. Just repeat it. Let's do it over the C/G chord. Pick, down, up. Pick, down, up. Pick, down, up. So that's a real useful one. And here's one more. This is the most common strumming pattern used in classic country. It's just the basic boom chick strumming pattern. Boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, pick down, pick down. So there's a few options as far as the strumming goes, and in a lot of classic country songs, I'll use all 3 of those strumming patterns at different times, depending on the chord progression and depending on if there's lyrics and how I need to fit the lyrics over my strumming. When we start going through these Hank Williams chord progressions here in a minute, we'll be using some different open chords. We'll use the same strumming pattern, but the bass line picks might change a little bit depending on the chord we're playing. So let's check out the F major chord right here. Over the F major chord, we'll be switching the bass line picks between the 4th string and the 5th string. 4th string, 5th string. But there's one trick, it's just like the C major chord, where in order to hit that bass line properly, you've either got to shift your left ring finger back and forth, or you can play an F/C chord. It's just the F major chord / C bass note. And to get to that same type of thing as earlier, just form a C major chord and then shift your left ring finger to the 5th string, and then the pinky will go right where the ring finger was. And that way we got a nice 5-string full sounding open chord for the F major. And you can shift back and forth between the bass line that way without moving your left hand. So another really useful chord when you're in the key of C for classic country. And later in this video we'll go through the bass line picks for a few other chords for those of y'all that need help on that. But at this point, let's go through these Hank Williams chord progressions. Here's the first one that we're going to work on. We're going to call this the verse chord progression. And these are chord progressions that we're borrowing from the song Your Cheatin' Heart by Hank Williams. And I'll show you how I can piece these together later in the video. So here we go. Verse chord progression sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, C, F, F, G, G, C, C. And then you'll repeat this line that you see here one more time. So you play it a total of 2 times, and that will get you the verse chord progression. So moving on to the second chord progression we're going to use today. We'll call this the chorus chord progression. And this same exact chord progression is also going to be used for the instrumental breaks. But we'll make that instrumental break a little bit fancier and go through that guitar solo. But the main idea, that guitar solo, is going to follow along with this chord progression right here. So take a listen to this chorus and instrumental chord progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, F, C, C, D7, D7, G, G7, C, C, F, F, G, G, C, C. So there's the 2 main chord progressions that we'll use today to practice our classic country strumming. And if you wanted to try to practice along with Your Cheatin' Heart by Hank Williams using these chord progressions, here's what you'll need to do. And it's actually really simple. These are very common chord progressions, and you might even run across these exact same chord progressions in other classic country songs. So really useful. But here's the structure of Your Cheatin' Heart. And we're starting out with a quick intro, and this is real easy intro. It's just 4 measures long. G, G, C, C, dun, 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 dun. And we go into the verse chord progression right after that. So that's a 4 measure intro, and then it goes into the verse chord progression that we learned earlier. And then it'll go straight into the first chorus. We learned that chord progression already. And then after that, it'll go into the instrumental chord progression, which is the exact same chord progression as the chorus chord progression. But we're going to make it a little bit fancier, playing a guitar solo right there. And then after that, we just go to one more verse and then one more chorus.